Hey folks, the steel industry is not coming back. The biggest jobs killer in the steel industry hasn't actually been China. The biggest jobs killer in the steel industry has been technology. You need exponentially fewer workers to make steel than you did 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Computer technology has made it far, far more efficient to produce steel, and you need far fewer steel workers. However, at the same time in the United States, while there's not many steel workers these days because the steel mills don't need that many people, at the same time we have a whole generation of young people who've grown up with computer technology, who've been using computers and the internet for almost all their lives. The millennial generation knows computers, and they're statistically more creative, according to some studies, than their parents' generation is. So we have a whole generation of young people who know technology, who know computers, and are making substantially lower wages than their parents and need good paying jobs and can do high tech. So what's Trump's plan to fix our economy? Put a tariff on China, the country that is leading the world in breakthroughs in computer technology, funding, research and development, doing all kinds of breakthroughs, the biggest cell phone manufacturer in the world, the biggest telecommunications manufacturer in the world, huge amounts of government investment into computer technology. Cut us off from China in the hopes that maybe we can produce at most a few hundred more steelworker jobs in a decaying industry that's being phased out by technology. This is just stupidity. Think of all the millennials out there who need a good-paying job, who are frustrated, who are making low wages, and really want a good-paying job. Are they gonna get a job in the steel mill? Do you think that that's where the next generation of young Americans who need to be employed are going to be hired? And do you think, even with the way steel mills work, that there's even any chance of hiring the millions of young people in the United States that are looking for good-paying jobs and have skills in technology? This is just stupidity. It's based on this illusion that we can restore the 1950s. In the 1950s, the steel mill in the United States, the steel industry, was booming, and because of the labor movement, the steel workers in the USA got paid significantly higher than they did in the 1920s and 30s. There were strong unions, and the world had been blown up by the Second World War, so the USA was making steel and selling it all over the world and hiring thousands and thousands and thousands of people to make it. That's not the reality anymore. And no matter how many tariffs you put on China, it's not going to become the reality. The future of jobs is technology and innovation and development. And China is doing that right now because they've invested in it. While we've privatized our education system, made it more and more expensive to go to college, just gutted the education system and made the cost of education go up, China has been funding like crazy their educational system and training engineers and scientists and all kinds of people, and they are involved in really the cutting edge of the high-tech computer revolution. But Trump doesn't want us to be part of it. They don't want us to be on board with the country with the highest and the fastest moving trains in the world. Oh no. The hope is that maybe we can get a few hundred more jobs in the steel industry. A few hundred more jobs in an industry where labor is being phased out anyway, because at this point steel mills are being advanced by technology. You need fewer and fewer workers on the assembly line or involved in steel production at steel mills. I mean, this is just outrageous. He's trying to bring back the 1950s, and that's not going to happen. China is looking to the future, and the USA is looking to the past. And in the end, it's us who's going to hurt, because China's going to keep making just as much steel. They make half the steel in the world. They're making breakthroughs in manufacturing and development. China is the future. This new tariff is just dumb. And the funniest part about it is Trump brags about the new manufacturing jobs that have been created since he took office. Well, a lot of those jobs in places like Iowa and Wisconsin are from Chinese companies. And now those Chinese companies, you can bet China's going to respond to these tariffs. Now those Chinese companies are in question. So he may actually hurt the manufacturing sector that he's claiming to help. The whole thing is just economic stupidity. It's a big, big mistake.